Hi guys. So you guys did a really nice job with area, and we're gonna kind of still be talking about area, but we're gonna be talking about three-dimensional shapes. So they're not just gonna be flat on your paper anymore. If you actually held them in your hand, this is what it would look like, okay? So a 3D shape. And we're gonna start by just talking about prisms. Now prisms are special because they actually have the same shape that expands throughout the entire shape. So if I were to hold this, let's say this is the bottom, what kind of shape is on that bottom? It's a rectangle, right? So that means that this is a rectangular prism because the base is a rectangle, okay? So and this base extends all the way through the shape, and we've got another rectangle up here, okay? If you know what a pyramid is, a pyramid goes up to a point, or a cone goes up to a point, whereas a prism has the same base on top and bottom, okay? So this shape here, the base is actually a triangle, and it's going to extend all the way through the shape to have another triangle on the top. Okay, so this is a triangular prism. And those are the two types of prisms that we're going to be talking about today. There's so many different types of prisms, but these are the two we're going to focus on, okay? And what your job is to find the surface area of these shapes. So you have all of these different sides of those prisms, and you're finding the area of the entire shape, okay, on the outside of the shape. So the formula to do that is quite long. You're going to be doing 2 times the base area plus the perimeter times the height. We're going to break that up into different pieces to make it more manageable for you guys, okay? So keeping this formula in mind, these are the different steps that you're going to take, and we're going to do them one by one with our example down here, okay? This is probably the most important thing you can do when you're calculating surface area. Some of you will be like, I don't need to do that, that's silly. But this is really going to help you keep everything straight when you're calculating surface area. So the first thing you need to do is shade the base. When you've got all rectangles, like this rectangular prism, it doesn't matter what you shade. They're all rectangles, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm just going to choose to shade this shape down here, this rectangle, and that's what I'm going to use as my base. I know some of you think this is silly, but it will really help you if you do this, okay? So it's kind of a requirement for me that you shade the base that you're using, okay? So I'm going to shade my base. Then I'm going to find the area of that base, and that's what we call the base area, and it's this funky looking bee right here, bee with the tail. You're finding the area of that base, and that's a rectangle. We know how to find the area of a rectangle is just base times height. So my base area is going to be base times height because it's a rectangle, and that's how you find the area of that shape. So my base area is going to be 3 times, whoops, and I don't see anything right here. This would be the height, but I don't see anything. So for a prism, you know that this shape extends all the way up, so it's actually the same as this shape up here. So this length right here is going to be the same as this length. So this 5 is going to be the height of my base. You see how it extends? So I'm going to do 3 times 5. So the area of my base is 15. That's why we spent so much time calculating area of all these shapes, because you need it for surface area, okay? Now we're going to jump and do the perimeter. So we did the base area. We're going to do the perimeter of this shape down here that you shaded. So we're going to keep dealing with that bottom shape. So the perimeter is going to be adding up all the sides of that shape that you shaded. So the perimeter is going to be 3 plus 5. And remember, rectangles are the same, so if this is 3, then this is 3. And if this is 5, then this is 5. Okay? So 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5. I have 4 sides of this rectangle. So 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5 is going to give you 16. Okay? So now, the easy part is finding the height. So the height of this shape is going to be what is connecting your two bases. So this is what I shaded, and then the same shape extends up to the top here. So I have to think about what is connecting those two bases. What's attaching those? And it's going to be this line right here. This is the height of your prism, okay? It's 2, all right? So now you're going to plug that into your formula, which was, I'm going to write it kind of small up here. So 2 times the base area plus the perimeter times the height. You're going to plug all of your information into that formula. So when you do that, you're going to get 2. The reason you times it by 2 is because there's 2 bases in this 3D shape. So 2 times your base area was 15 plus your perimeter was 16 times your height was 2. Okay, so let's figure out what that gives us. 2 times 15 is 30, plus 16 times 2 is 32. So when you add those together, notice how I did the 2 multiplications first, did order of operations. So 62, and then what's my units? Are feet squared. It's still area, so you're going to do units squared. So that's the surface area of your whole 3D shape. Okay, I know it seems a little tricky, but it's not so bad. I'm going to have you guys try this rectangular prism. I'm going to give you a head start here. I'd like you guys to use this shape on the side as your base. So go ahead and pause the video, try this out, and see if you can find the surface area. Use this as an example, okay? Okay, so now we're going to jump to triangular prisms. And it's the same formula as rectangular prisms. 2 times the base area plus perimeter times height, except this time your bases are going to be triangles. Okay? So the shape that you must shade must be a triangle. Okay? You cannot shade these rectangles because it's a triangular prism. That's what extends throughout the entire shape. Okay? Okay. So we're going to find the base area first. So I have to find the area of this triangle. And remember, it's the same as this triangle, so I can use this same information. So I know the area of a triangle is going to be base times height times a half. Okay? So I'm going to do half. What is the base of this triangle? Well, I don't see a right angle, so I'm going to actually go up here. Here's my right angle, so that means the base is 7 times the height is 2. So you're going to have to use, if you shade one base, use the other base as to get some of your information, okay? So half of 7 times 2 is going to be 7. That's my area of the base. And now I need to find the perimeter of this shape. So I'm going to do the distance around this triangle. So I know that this side is 7. So I'm going to do 7 plus 6 plus, I don't see this side. So I'm going to look up to the other triangle. This side is 5. So 7 plus 6 plus 5. And if you add those all together, you'll get your perimeter, which is 18. Okay, now I need to look for that height. What's connecting those 2 triangles, those 2 bases? So between the 2 triangles, so remember here's our other triangle, what's connecting it is this 10, the distance between the bases. So I know a lot of you think a lot of times height should be straight up and down, but the height of the whole prism, if you were to stand it on its side, would be 10. Okay, so let's plug that into the formula. So we're going to have 2, because there's 2 bases, times your base area, which was 7, plus your perimeter was 18, times your height, which is 10. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 times 7 is 14, plus 18 times 10 is 180. And if you add those together, your entire surface area is 194. centimeters squared. That's the surface area of your prism. Okay? Okie dokie. Go ahead and try this last one on your own. Remember, it's important when you have a triangular prism to shade the actual triangle. Okay, so you're going to use that as your base area. All right, go ahead and give it a try. Pause it and then check your answer when you're done. Hi guys, we're going to be doing our section 3, and we've done area, and now you guys are going to be learning about surface area, which is going to be dealing with 3D shapes. So if you were to hold these shapes in your hand, you're going to be looking for the entire area of all the surfaces of the shape. Okay, before you were just doing a triangle, a 2D shape, and finding the area of that. Surface area is all of the surfaces on that shape, okay? So we're going to just be dealing with prisms today. And prisms are special because they have bases that extend throughout the entire shape. I want you guys to visualize a pyramid or a cone, like a party hat, okay? Those two shapes go up to a point. They are not prisms. These shapes right here are prisms because they don't connect at a point. They have bases that extend throughout the entire shape. See here, we have a rectangle that extends from the top to the bottom. Okay, so this would be a rectangular prism. Okay, over here, we have another prism. It doesn't go up to a point. We have a triangle here that extends throughout the entire shape to form another triangle. So this would be a triangular prism. So these two shapes are the two that we're going to focus on finding surface area of, okay? I apologize for all of these little smudges. Talk about big bummer. I just recorded this entire video a minute ago and forgot to hit record. So this is my second time doing it, so hopefully it's good. All right, so we're going to be doing surface area of prisms, and the formula for that is a little bit lengthy, but you're going to become familiar with it. 2 times the base area, that's what this funky looking B means, plus the perimeter times the height. Now we're going to break each of these steps up into pieces so they're a little bit more manageable, okay? So stick with me here. We're going to do it step by step, doing this example, okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to shade your base. Now the base of a rectangular prism does not matter. You can shade whatever shape your little heart desires, okay? Because they're all rectangles. It doesn't make any difference. So I'm actually going to choose this bottom shape here. If you didn't want to, you could shade the front piece. You can do whatever you want, but it's important to shade whatever you're going to use as your base, okay? So that's your first step. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to find the area of that base. And that's where this funky looking B comes in, the base area. So the shape that I shaded, if I needed to find the area of that rectangle, you would do base times height, right? That's how you find the area of a rectangle. So this is my base, because remember this is a right angle. Base is 3 times the height of this shape. I don't see anything. So remember, the thing about prisms is that that base extends throughout the entire shape. So I've got another one exactly like it on top here. So I can use the information from that top shape for this bottom shape. So my base is 3, and my height, I'm going to look up at my other one, is 5. Okay, so 3 times 5, so my base area is 15 feet squared. That is not new, you guys. You guys were finding area of rectangles in our last 2 sections, okay? So the base area is 15. Now your job is to find the perimeter of that shape that you shaded. So I need to find the distance around that shape by adding all the sides of that base. Remember, you got to remember the rules for the rectangle. If this is 3, then this back here is also 3. And if this is 5, then this is 5. Okay, that's the rule for parallelograms or rectangles, right? So to find the perimeter, I'm going to do 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5. So when you do that, you're going to get, so we get 6 plus 10, so I get 16. Okay. Last step, you're going to find the height of your entire prism. So not the height of your base, you're finding the height of that actual prism. If I were to stand it up or hold it in my hand, what would be the height? And the height is going to connect the two bases. So what connects my two bases would be this side right here. So my height is 2. So now I have all the pieces of the puzzle. I just need to plug it into my formula. And I'm going to rewrite it here. You have it on your notes at the very top. But remember, the formula to find the area of a prism is going to be 2 times the base area plus perimeter times the height. So I'm going to plug all these numbers into the corresponding section here. So 2, the reason you multiply it by 2 is because you have 2 bases. So 2 times the base area, which was 15, plus my perimeter, which was 16, times 2. So I'm going to take my order of operations and I'm going to do my multiplication first. So 2 times 15 is 30, plus 16 times 2 is 32. So 30 plus 32 would give me 62, and its area, so I'm going to do feet squared. Got it? Okay, so I'd like you guys to try example number 2 here, and I'm going to give you a hint. I would like you to use this shape right here as your base. Okay, so shade this in. Try to find the surface area of this shape, or get as far as you can, and check your answer when you're done, okay? Alright, so we're still doing prisms. Let's try to find the surface area of these triangular prisms. So now we have a triangle that we must shade. Rectangular prisms, it didn't matter what you shaded, but when you have a triangular prisms, you have to shade a triangle, okay? So I could have shaded this one, but I didn't want to cover up my numbers. So remember that this and this are the exact same shape, exact same dimensions. So you're going to want to start by finding the base area, because remember my formula to find the surface area is exactly the same for every prism. So 2 times the base area plus perimeter times height. So this time, the area of this shape, I'm going to use a different formula. So the base area, since it's a triangle, I'm going to have to do 1/2 base times height, because it's a triangle. It's different than a rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to plug what I have. So base area is the same thing as 1/2 times my base of this triangle. I don't see anything. So I'm going to go up to the other triangle, which is exactly the same. So that means that this is 7, and I don't see a perpendicular height given. So I'm going to look up at the front. Oh, it's 2. Sometimes you have to use the other base to get some of your information. So I'm going to do 7 times 2. So my base area would be 7. Now I'm going to look for the perimeter of that triangle, so the distance around. So I know that this side is 7, plus this side is 6, plus, I don't have this side, so I'm going to look up at my other shape. It's the same as this side, which is 5. So 7 plus 6 plus 5 will give you 18. And then finally, you're going to look for that height. Remember, it's the height that's connecting the two bases. So the height that's connecting both of the triangles would be this side right here. If I were to stand that up on my palm, on my bases, that would be the height of the entire prism. So let's go ahead and plug it into our formula. There's 2 bases, so 2 times the base area, which was 7, plus your perimeter, which was 18, times the height, which was 10. So remember to follow order of operations when you're calculating. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 18 times 10 is 180. And if you add those up, you get 194. So 194 centimeters squared is your surface area. All right, cool. You're going to try this last one on your own. Remember, I'll give you a hint. You must shade a triangle. So I would use this as your base. And remember, you can use the other triangle to help you figure out what your numbers would be. All right, good luck.